good morning, Gerard.
Hey, good morning.
Are you ready for our interview where we throw 50 questions at you in a short amount of time?
Sure, fire away.
Great. What are you most excited about as president?
Well, what's really great about being president of this organization is being able to figure out ways to better serve our physicians, who can then really better serve our patients. And so for me, it's about putting together this great network of people, staff, and our physician volunteers to help solve the problems that we have in pulmonary and critical care medicine.
First thing you do on your smartphone when you wake up in the morning?
I check my email like every other smartphone junkie, and then I look at my calendar to see what overcrowded day I have ahead of me.
My question is, what is your most hated motivational quote?
Yeah, so there's this one quote, I had to think about this for a while. Confucius said something like, it's okay to do something slowly, just don't ever stop. And that's okay, but I can't do anything slowly, and sometimes I wish I could, but I can't do anything slowly. I'm a fairly hyper guy. Even give me a cup of coffee, I'm even more hyper.
That's true.
I think you already know that,
Yeah.
Stratton.
Yeah. All right.
All right, good to see you.
Talk to you later.
Who's a historical figure that you'd like to have a drink with?
There's no question about it, Ben Franklin. He's one of the most amazing Americans in history.
Favorite part about patient care?
So for me, the favorite part about patient care is being able to explain things to patients in sort of a plain English so that they can understand what's going on, so we can make good decisions about their care, and so that we can work to get them better. I also love the idea of being able to have long-term relationships with my patients. One of the interesting things is that they always tell you don't get close to your patients, but over the years there's always a few you get close to, and you get to know their families as well, and so that to me is really satisfying part about patient care.
Very nice to see you.
See you too.
My question for you:
Go.
do you believe in a gap year?
Yes, I saw that. Believe in a gap year between college and medical school, and interestingly, I'm having that conversation with my son as we speak. I never got to do a gap year. I went kind of straight through, and I actually can see the value of doing a gap year. And I said that slowly and with some reservation, because someone has to fund the gap year.
There is that.
And so I've sort of been talking to my son about doing a little work to fund his gap year should he decide to do one.
That's a great conversation.
Yeah, so
Sorry,
it's
you
a
didn't
lovely
get your gap
conversation.
year.
No, I got no gap year.
That's being an overachiever.
I did
Surprise.
get a sabbatical in 2004 or 5, so I did get a year away from
Coffee or tea?
coffee. Absolutely no question about it.
Best chest article you've read?
Yeah, so there were great chest articles, but honestly, I can't pick one. But what I am going to pick is the one I'm really, as an entity, really proud of, and that's the chest guidelines that we've been doing since 2003. So the chest lung cancer guidelines, 2003, 2007, and most recently 2013 are, in my view, the best series of articles out there. But again, I'm not so objective.
What is the greatest learning experience of your career?
Yeah, so for me, after my training in pulmonary medicine, I got very interested in something called health services research, where we look at public policy and large database analysis and how healthcare is delivered. And I spent a year at Dartmouth doing a graduate degree in health services research, and I'm able to apply all the different aspects of database analysis, cost efficacy analysis, public policy, how patients make decisions about their health care, to my chosen content field of interest, which is lung cancer. And for me, that year of education was what really helped propel my career and keeps me really interested in looking at medicine from a different viewpoint than just the sort of generally trained physician view of medicine.
If you had a rap name, what would it be?
That's easy too, because my children gave me a rap name and they call me G-Baby.
Last book that you read?
I just read this book called The Eight, which is about sort of one of these holy grail books. And the interesting part about that book for me was that all the main characters in the book were heroines. And it was set in the 1790s and in the 1970s, so pretty good book, and I'm a fan of historic fiction, so I enjoyed the book a lot.
Favorite person in the world?
I'm going to incorporate 3 people, and so that would be my family, Nate, Mia, and Joanne.
Favorite novel?
Actually, it's a group of 3. It's called The Generation Trilogy by an author named Ken Follett, who's written a lot of great historic fiction books, but the trilogy of the 20th century, that 3 books are my favorite.
Favorite season?
Fall.
Favorite annual meeting location so far?
So we had it in Hawaii, and it's really hard to top Hawaii. The other place that's really been fantastic is Vancouver.
Hey, Dr. Silvestri.
Hey, Chad, how are you? Good to see you.
I have a question for you. What's your favorite, most influential or motivational quote?
So that's an easy one for me. Jimmy V or Jimmy Valvano once said, "Don't give up, don't ever give up," and I try to live by that. And so that's my favorite motivational quote.
Thank you.
How's the patient?
He's doing all right.
Okay,
Thanks, Doctor.
Good to see you.
Favorite chest past president?
So that's a difficult one. We've had unbelievably good past presidents, but for me, Richard Irwin's the person I admire most, and the reason for that is Richard is been the editor-in-chief of our flagship journal, Chest. He's also been a tremendous university professor, and he and I are both interested in guidelines, practice guidelines, and so he's been involved with that. So he'd be the person I admire most. And also, if you get to know Richard, you know that he's a terrific father and family man.
Puppies or kittens?
Puppies.
Last hobby that you picked up?
Golf, and I'm a bit of a golf junkie. I'd play every day if I could. Of course, I can't.
Most effective public speaking tactic?
There were a few. Never read directly from your slides, ever. And if you have humor, use it. But more importantly, if you don't have a good sense of humor, you shouldn't try it out as a public speaker.
Were you nervous when you found out that you'd become the next Chest president?
Yeah, I was actually a little bit more surprised than nervous because there were some great candidates who have served the college really well, so I really didn't think that it would be me. And after that, it was just a lot of excitement and a, oh my gosh, how am I going to fit all the work that needs to be done into my already busy schedule?
Favorite Star Wars movie?
It's easy because I've only seen one, and it was the first one. So my children are trying to get me to watch the rest of the series, but I've only seen the first Star Wars, which was good. But I think I was a teenager when I saw that.
What's something you would tell medical school-aged Gerard?
Yeah, I think I often think about that show Curb Your Enthusiasm. One of my biggest strengths is my passion, but it can be a curse too. I would tell Gerard, hey, listen, you need to sort of calm down and be in there for the long haul, not just the sprint. If I could tell Gerard anything, it would be, quiet down a little more and just observe things for a while before you get involved. Well, hello there.
Hey Gerard, how are you?
Good to see you, man.
Good. So, who can you always count on for good professional advice?
Yeah, so my mentor for at least 20 years, probably more, 25 years, has been a doctor named Jim Jett, who was at the Mayo Clinic for years, and he was a world lung cancer expert. And he'd been around the block a few times, and he's just recently retired. We started out letter writing, and then went to email, and we talked about once a month throughout my career. So I was really, really lucky for that. Outside of medicine, though, I've gotten great advice from a couple of my older brothers who are good businessmen, and to talk to them about non-physician related issues is always good.
Good perspective.
All right.
And your retired friend, you can call him more often now.
I can definitely call him more often.
All right.
Actually, he's calling me a lot more these days.
Good for you. All right, Joe.
Good to see you.
What's the one publication that you're the most proud of?
Yeah, so pretty early on in my career, I was interested in figuring out what cancer patients thought of their choices for chemotherapy to take care of them for lung cancer. So I did this patient preference-based survey on how patients viewed the trade-offs between quality of life and quantity of life. And that paper is pretty old now, but it's the one I'm really still most proud of.
Beach or the mountains?
Well, since I live at the beach, I definitely like to get up to the mountains, so I'm going to pick mountains. Hey.
Hi, Gerard. How are you?
Good to see you.
I've been wondering, what's the first thing you do after you get home from a long day at work?
Yeah, so normally my wife hands me a leash and I take the dog out for a long walk, which helps me unwind, and then I get home, and a few nights a week I try to cook because I really like to unwind with that. We're lucky enough to live on the water, and so sometimes I'll take a glass of wine and head out to the dock to unwind.
Sounds nice.
Yeah,
I'll be
thanks.
over for dinner at 6.
6 would be
Great.
fine. It's going to be Italian.
What is one thing you're looking forward to in Los Angeles?
I think it's really networking and seeing all the people that we have in the organization. You know, national meetings are a great time to catch up with your colleagues from around the country and to see what they're doing. I'm really excited to see a lot of the opportunities that we're going to provide our learners who come to the meeting, but really it is also to see friends and get in a room with like-minded people and talk about different things and catch up about our families.
If you could switch lives with anyone for a day, who would it be?
Yeah, so for me, a healthy Tiger Woods for a day would be fantastic. So I could have the feeling of being able to drive a golf ball nearly 300 yards. But if it wasn't an athlete, it would be Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR, because that era of history is one that interests me greatly, and I'd like to have sat in the room with him and Winston Churchill and had those conversations.
If you could ask anyone dead or alive, who would be a trust keynote speaker?
Yeah, I'd have to go with John F. Kennedy. He was a tremendously charismatic speaker, and you know, I like to be inspired, and so John F. Kennedy would be my chess keynote speaker, could I have one.
Who's your favorite person to follow on Twitter?
Yeah, so there's a sportscaster named Colin Cowherd who's irreverent and controversial and really, really good. But it's not any of the big superstars like a Taylor Swift or another, you know, superstar. It's just a sportscaster.
Great.
All right, thank you.
Coolest thing in your office?
So I have two cool things in my office. One, though, is that I was just thinking about that's pretty interesting is I have this, it's almost like a trophy with a bronchoscope on it, a replica of a bronchoscope that was given to me after speaking at a meeting in India. It looks like, you know, you'd give out a Grammy or a Tony or an Oscar, but this is a bronchoscope trophy, so I enjoy that.
What's your spirit animal?
I think locally I'm not a huge spirit animal person, but were I to have one, it would probably be a dolphin because they are all around Charleston in the harbors, and I enjoy seeing them when I'm out on the boat.
What is the best part about joining Chest?
For me, joining Chest is about being part of a family of physicians who are like-minded, and so when I joined, I suppose 23 years ago or so, there weren't many people who were interested in lung cancer, which is my field of expertise, and I was able to find lots of people to be able to work with and network with in my chosen field. Steve, good to see you.
Trophy. Good to see you too.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good. So my question for you is, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Yeah, I'd definitely like to be invisible so I could pop into rooms and see what's going on and figure out really tough sort of detective cases. I'd like invincibility so I couldn't be, you know, shot or attacked. To get out of the way and stuff.
Nice.
How about you?
Nice.
What's your cloak of invincibility? What's your superpower?
I want to have Wolverine's mutant healing factor so that I could age slowly, I could always have my health, and I could recover from anything.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's a good superpower. I like mine better.
All right. Hey, good to see you too.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for answering our questions, Gerard, and good luck in your new role.
Hey, thank you very much, and it was a pleasure to be here. Thanks.